Welcome to the JAMODI Podcast. On episode 36, we talk about the advantages of the disadvantage. JAMODI Podcast, thank you so much for lending me your ears today. We're really excited about this podcast today. It's episode 36, as I say. It has been a hell of a couple months, and I'm really excited about being back in the studio preaching the message of EvoFit. You know, EvoFit stands for mind, body, and life. An evolution of your lifestyle. Get your mind right before you get your body right so you can push your body to have a great lifestyle. And the JAMODI Podcast stands for, if you're new and you're brand new to listen to this podcast, it stands for just a matter of doing it. It's an old family saying from my family that we passed on over generations, and I have it tattooed on my arm. I had it cut out of steel on the wall here at the facility here in EvoFit. I love the thing, and I've lived my whole life by it, and I want to preach that message to the world. If you haven't heard my story, just go back to episode 1, 2, and 3, and you'll learn all about me and what this movement is all about. So let's just deep dive right into this topic today. The podcast is about advantages of the disadvantage. Now, we all have disadvantages in life, and sometimes we experience them differently than others. And I definitely have my own story, and you have your own story. But I wanted to touch on it. And this will actually, move forward in your life and help you with maybe a goal you have, or a personal goal, a business goal, financial, whatever have you. That goal could be. This could really help you and put things in a different perspective, if you let me say. So the first thing I would like to say is to, the process of being resourceful. The process of being resourceful. What that means is when you don't have resources such as money or a huge following, if you're trying to do a social media following or be an influencer or, anything like that, resources to make means happen. Going back to the story of what, my story, if you listen in the past, this amazing process I've been in and a journey, and there's been a lot of hurdles, but they've been blessings because they've made me stronger and learn from the hurdles. But, I was homeless. I struggled to eat, and I had to be super resourceful. I had to take showers at the gym that I worked at. I had to, shave and everything with the free shavers they had. I had to use the toilet paper, all that stuff. And I went to as many networking events so I could eat some of the finger food and also network at the same time while I was there to drive business to the passion of building a fitness facility and pushing the JAMODI Podcast forward. As it's a new one, but it's always been a message I've always pushed. And that's just what I bleed out through my teeth, my pores, everything. And it's being resourceful of living in the truck when I needed to, and I didn't have gas money to drive towards my parents' house to sleep in my childhood bed, or so on and so forth. I slept on people's couches. We've all have had an experience like that, probably at one way or another, whether you've been poor or you just too drunk to drive or anything like that. That's being resourceful, whether you know it or not, being smart. Another topic we have, I'm going to point out the topics I have here, and then we'll go back and circle back. But, not having daddy's money to elevate your chances of winning. And, that's obviously, yeah, Turner, we get that. Like, if you have money, you can do anything, really. But I want to kind of give you a story. I have a really good friend, Sean. He is extremely resourceful, and he doesn't have his parents' money. He doesn't have anything like that. He didn't have the best parenting upbringing, but now he has a percentage in a company that is a startup that is crushing it. He has a car now that he got from them that he didn't have a car. It was going through that. I'm not trying to name drop here if you guys are listening in and know who this person is. This guy is amazing, and I love him for it, because he doesn't give up. He being resourceful. He's not trying to live off other people's wealth or, resources. He's making his own, as you would say, his own luck. He's pushing forward. He's got a car. He's got a job. He's got a house over his head. He's just doing things and he's getting it done. Yeah, he works a lot, but he's being resourceful and he's not being stupid about what he has. Anything like a guy that I looked up to and I love listening to his podcast, Andy Frisella. He started a supplement company that is $1 billion company now, and he is crushing it. He lived in the back of his supplement store back in the day. He had to work 2 different jobs, the concrete stuff, just crap jobs, living on a mattress that had piss stains on it. And, he was being resourceful. He didn't have money to get going. He made his wealth. He made his resources, and he pushed forward. And as well as a man, I love this guy, Bedros Keuilian, founder of Fit Body Bootcamp franchise. He has his own great Empire podcast. He has his own conferences. He is not from the United States. He came here and dumpster dive as a kid. His parents had to use gasoline in his hair to get the lice out and all this stuff. He shares with the world because he has been a man of his word and made his own resources by being resourceful and not using those disadvantages to drive him for his advantages today. And it's a story. And, anyone that you've ever heard with a huge company at some point has hit rock bottom and has made their way up. Now, this is a very touchy topic, but I don't give a shit. If you're listening, you're listening. Trump has gone through some crap. And look at him today. He's a leader of the free world. He is bankrupt 1 million times. He's done up and down, but he's gone through some stuff himself. Okay, now I'll get off that topic before everybody starts flipping out on me. Okay, now the other topic I have is a really, really good one that I've stole but borrow from Andy Frisella. Thank you so much for giving me this. I love this topic. The good chef theory, meaning like cooking, a chef. Okay, following a direction, a process, and trusting how it would come out. Now, what do I mean by that? Sometimes there's the best recipe of a cake, right? I'll go make it. I'll just make it up and stuff, and I'll get it from that person. The amazing chef is so good. And I'll try, okay, I got the recipe somehow, and I'm going to make it, and it's not as good because there's a way of baking it. There's a way of putting it at rest. There's a way of putting the different stuff on it and blah, blah, blah. Like, for example, my mother makes this amazing from scratch coconut cake. It's my one cake that I want for my wedding, for every single birthday. I expect it because I love it so much. But it takes like a day or two to make. And there's a process to it that you got to trust to make it come that outcome. Now, if you skip some one of those processes and those steps, it's just going to turn into crap. It's not going to taste good. It might be sliding off the side. It won't stick. So, that's just a way of put this into perspective to understand that, following a process, a direction, to use your disadvantages to your advantage, to push you forward and propel you. I'll share one thing in my life that a disadvantage in my life that you guys have probably heard before, but I'll use it again. As many of you have probably heard in the past podcasts about my story of moving through, and I'll share this again because I still use it as an advantage. For my disadvantage I have as an advantage. As growing up, I had hearing loss, and I still do. Severely, I'm just really good at faking it. But the point is when I was young, it was hard for me to study. For every 3 hours, every hour of a lecture in college took me 3 hours of study. I had to review the notes that I had. I had a note taker. I had to review their notes, and then I also had a recorder. And I went back to my dorm or maybe the library or whatever, and I had to review those 3 things. So it took me 3 hours to only 1 hour of lecture. And even back to grade school, I was told I would never make it through, make it to college and make it through. But, here I am today with a bachelor's in exercise sports sciences, a minor in nutrition, and just following through my dream and actually using the actual degree and education that I have today. And a side note of being ambitious and wanting to press this message of the JAMODI Podcast out to the world to help people in a positive way. And just these small little snippets of these videos or, this podcast and on iTunes and on YouTube and whatnot, anywhere I can get out to the world, just to give that little push help somebody with one of these little points here. So I'll kind of go through these again, a little summary of the process of being resourceful is being resourceful when you need it most. Saying that use something that you have, be thankful for what you have, and be resourceful to it in any means that you need to. And it can really take you a long way. Not having someone else's wealth or resources to propel you forward. Because if you do that, you're just going to always expect it. When hard times hit, when you started to get dragged through the rocks, you're going to be looking for other people or blaming other people for your failures or your hardships. And it's important for you to find your own way, get your own resources, or even using those disadvantages for your advantage today to use it for motivation. I don't know what, to me, the biggest advantage on my disadvantage that motivates me the most is when somebody tells me I can't do something or it will not happen. It fucking fires me up. I get raged a little bit deep down inside, and I make sure it happens. And I don't come back for revenge, but I will always find a way to look that person in the face without saying a word and smile and nod my head. Because that motivates me so much, because I've even been told that podcasts are hard, and I don't care. Today I have helped thousands of downloads of people have telling me and reaching out to me that they love this podcast because it is a message that I'm preaching and I'm getting it out to the world. And look, here I am today doing what I want to do and helping the people that I have a passion to do. So, and then the last thing on this list is the good chef process. Following a process and trusting it to come up with the end results that'll come out perfect. Okay? Now, sometimes you don't always know that process, but learn from others. Learn from others' mistakes. Learn from others' successes. Everyone's going to have their own journey and process, but you need to find one, trust it, and stay in line with it. It's going to take you a long way in life if you just do those things. It can take us all a long time to learn those ways, but I trust you. I tell you I trust you. What that mean? I'm telling you, it works if you just stay committed, because consistency always wins. Guys, I just wanted to make a podcast. It has been so long. I have had some amazing opportunities. We have opened another location in Surprise, Arizona, for the EvoFit family and community to grow even further other than Dallas. We're really excited about helping more people. If you're new to watching this, guys, in Surprise, Arizona, I am so happy to have you guys lend me in your ears, your eyes, and your attention for the little bit of time that we have here today. Thank you so much, guys. And I want to remind you guys, my well-being and my air is your feedback. So if you could give me a 5-star or anything, a love, a like, anything you can, that is huge for us here at the JAMODI Podcast and really trying to move it forward into the world. And as I always say, guys, and I will always repeat this and preach this for the rest of my life, remember, it's just a matter of doing it. Take care, guys. God bless you.